CQ RAYNET, CQ RAYNET. This is Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg, Golf Sierra Delta Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of the net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic news, opinions and information, with additional information on the website when it comes back up at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to the control station unless you are instructed otherwise, and all RAYNET-UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, and if you wish to leave the net immediately after checking in, then please call in and out. Otherwise, if you want to leave after subsequent turns, then please make it clear you want to check out at that time. After I've heard a few check-ins, I'll pause, repeat I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, then please do try again, and if you miss your turn to call in, I will call for strays at the end of the UK and international sections. So as usual, I'll start taking check-ins for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net in call sign number order. So any stations with figure 9 in their call sign wishing to check in, please call now. This is G4 NRC. G4 NRC, second call, any stations figure 9 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. For NRC, nothing heard. Let's figure 8, please call now, over. Second call, figure 8 stations, please call on the national calling channel, not your local net. This is G4 NRC, over. No 8s received. Let's have 7s. Stations figure 7 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over. G4 NRC, second call, any stations figure 7 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over. G4 NRC, nothing heard from the 7s. Let's have 6s. Stations figure 6 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over.
Good afternoon, this is Golf 6 Papa Delta Echo, Chris in Ipswich. In and out, please, Greg.
Delta Echo, good afternoon, Chris. Copy to you and out, 7-3s to you. Any other 6s, please, G4 NRC, over. G4 NRC, nothing heard. Let's have 5s. Stations figure 5 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over. G4 NRC, we don't have many 5s in the organisation, so we'll jump to 4s. Stations figure 4 in their call sign. Please go ahead, over.
G4 NRC, 4 Kilo Uniform Juliet, G4K UJ in Watford. Good afternoon, Greg.
Golf 4 Kilo India Lima, G4KL, South Sussex.
Golf 4 Hotel Uniform Foxtrot, Phil in Cheshire. NRC, so far I've got Trevor, G4KUJ, Philip, G4KIL, and Phil, G4HUF. Any other 4s, please, G4 NRC, over. For an RC, nothing heard, so let's have 3. So stations figure 3 in their call sign, please go ahead, over.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-ray, Ian, in and out.
3 Zulu Hotel X-ray, good afternoon Ian, copied in and out, 7-3's to you. Any other 3s please, G4 and RC, over. RC, then it's 2s, so stations figure 2 in their call sign, and that includes you intermediate 2s, please call now, G4 and RC, over.
2 Echo 0 Charlie Mike Sierra, Miss Colin from Midway, in and out please Greg.
0 Charlie Mike Sierra, good afternoon Colin, copied you in and out, so 7-3's to you. Any other 2s please, G4 and RC, over. 'RC, nothing heard, so let's have 1s, stations figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. 'RC, second call, any stations figure 1, please go ahead, over. 'Nothing heard, so let's have Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over. 3-4 and RC, second call, any Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, over. 3-4 and RC, then it's Golf 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over.
Golf Whiskey 0 Juliet Lima X-ray, good afternoon Greg. Name is Andy, Raynet, Pembrokeshire. No traffic today, so in and out please, over.
DW0 JLX, good afternoon Andy. Copied to you in and out, so 7-3's to you, and thanks for tail-ending the regular call-ins for the net. Do we have any UK stations who missed their turn to call in? If so, please call now, G4 and RC, over.
Golf. I didn't get any audio from you on the responses at the top, so I don't know whether you heard me, but I'm here now.
Golf 7 November Echo Hotel G7NEH. Good afternoon Greg, sorry I missed my calling.
Mike 9, Mike Juliet Romeo, Mike in Aberdeenshire.
B4 and RC, I've got Mike Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, Graham Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, and Mike 9 Mike Juliet Romeo. Okay, any other UK stations missed their turn to call in? Please call now, over. For an RC, do we have any of our international colleagues on the talk groups today, please? That's usually Nord-Samband of Norway, Aaron in Ireland, there's in the Netherlands. Please call now, G4 and RC, over.
Lima for 6 in your mic, name is Hans, very good afternoon. Well monitor, but in and out rate.
Alpha 6 India Mike. Good afternoon, Hans. You might have just seen an email I've put out on the IARU mailing list and copied you in and out. Okay, any station, UK or international, that's missed their turn to call in, please call now. G4 and RC, over. For an RC returning, nothing heard from anybody else. So good afternoon, everybody. Graham, G7NEH, is live streaming the net to YouTube today. As always, past live streams and recordings are available by searching G7NEH, that's Golf 7 November Echo Hotel on YouTube. And if you hit the like and subscribe button, he appreciates it for knowing the service is appreciated. It's a time-constrained net for me today, which means we have to finish no later than 16:45, which I think should be doable. And starting this week with a reminder that the news items here are reproduced in the following Friday's RAYNET news emailed to all members. This started as an exercise in providing additional content to that newsletter when nothing was being submitted. But it's worth reminding everyone that news items for the Friday publication are welcome, and maybe one day the need to recycle 5 days old news from this net would not be there. AST Space Mobile, the company behind the recent consternation over their use or proposed use of the 70cm band for their satellites during launch operations, reported this week that together with Vodafone they had selected Germany as the location for their main satellite operations centre for a cluster or a constellation they're calling it, which will serve mobile network operators in the 21 EU member states. Notable that in addition to the commercial mobile offering, the constellation is also aiming to support public protection and disaster relief, or PPDR, efforts. They will do this as the satellites support the frequencies that are used by other countries and ourselves when airwave replacement comes in for PPDR communications. This will, of course, be as long as national decisions permit their use. So, with that, let's see what thoughts we've got from you all this week. G4KUJ, unusually first on the list. G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC and the group, G4KUJ. Yep, good afternoon, Greg and everybody else. Yes, it's unusual for me to be top of the list. I think, Mike, you weren't heard. I didn't looking back, I did see you popped up on, I think, one of your local channels rather than the national channel, so that could have been the reason. I've been quite busy on radio type things this week. HF conditions have been very poor, trying to get backdoor traffic from Germany in the evening. But I noticed today the Australian forecast is saying that there are disturbed conditions and should go higher in frequency. So we might do better to Germany tomorrow night on backdoor. The other thing I've been playing with is I was looking at and I've managed to do that successfully using WinLink Express, and I've actually loaded RMS Relay onto a yeah, I saw that drop off as well. Not sure why that keeps happening. That's on the Alinco, and it's not a battery problem because it's a brand new battery. Oh, sorry, a fully charged battery. Anyway, swap freaks. Yeah, it's been looking at an email facility on. And managed to get WinLink Express running peer-to-peer between two nodes, one connected to the BT internet here, and the other one connected via Vodafone, the other node. That's all works fine, and I've downloaded RMS Relay to try and set up a post office, which would just work within Arden and wouldn't talk to the outside world with Link. So that's roughly what I've been doing. Back to you, Greg, from G4K UK.
G4KUJ, G4NRC returning. Okay, Trevor, your first radio, obviously, you saw me type in the log, audio failed badly, at least twice. On the second radio, it sounded a little bit packet loss. It wasn't showing on the Brandmeister screen I've got. I don't see anything on the RAYNET-UK one. Sounded a bit off, so I'm wondering if things have drifted off frequency as being the only thing I've got left as a possible thought. Noted on email relaying, etc. Still have a yen to get a BPQ node running, which also has an email facility and would allow all sorts of things to connect to it, not just the Pactor protocols going in. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that one. Okay, let's keep it moving since we have time limited. Philip, G4KIL, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KIL. Good afternoon, everybody. I've got a couple of non-RAYNET-y things. One immediate one, which is really no interest for you all there, is the one of the PCs I'm working on here in this setup this evening. It got stuck on the original flash screen, so I suspect the hard disk has died or something. So that's not very clear. I wonder whether it's because I plugged my hotspot into one of the USB sockets, whether it's stopped it, but I tried it without that in and it still didn't do it. So there's an immediate problem for me, nothing to do with RAYNET, and also not to do with RAYNET. I had an activity today. The local Worthing amateur radio group provides communications for road closures for Remembrance Sunday March, so I was doing that this morning. So at least that did help me to realise that my 2-metre handheld, the plug-in mic, the wire which I knew would worn a bit has now gone intermittent, so at least it's highlighted that. So I seem to have a habit of the outer casing on mic cables sort of gradually disintegrating, and then the inner cables don't like it. I don't know if it's just me. Perhaps I've got toxic fingers or something that are dissolving the plastic. Interesting, Trevor mentioning about HF being a bit rough. I done very little HF. I say, unfortunately, the times are not good for me this month for the HF net. I did set up my SDR Play monitoring 7078 with JS8 call software on the back of it since 7 o'clock last night, and that seemed to me like there's quite a lot of activity going on. That's just on like a 10-metre wire just out the window of the flat. But I've only got a receiver on that, so I didn't transmit to anything. But a few inter-G stations, a few others around. So yeah, that's really, I think, for me for the moment. I know you want to get on, so I won't hold it any longer. I'll stay logged in, as it were, to come back for the next one. But I expect it to be a quick in and out when you come back, just in case there's anything to comment. Back to you, Greg. G4NRC, G4KIL.
G4KIL, G4NRC. Yeah, well, for both you and Trevor, yes, the HF of the last week or so has been rather difficult. Trevor's seen it from an Australian source. I spotted elsewhere. It seemed to be a bit of a train of minor disturbances and X-flares and so on, which was causing difficulties. When I was on air yesterday from a park, albeit not very successfully, that was getting better. I was certainly hearing all around Europe on 20 metres, etc., with a very small antenna. So it's getting there, but you have PTTs go intermittent. I had a bunch of other stuff which made the field activity more of a learning experience. Okay, next for Phil, G4HUF, but also an advisory for Graham, G7NEH, when it gets around to him. Former Dane Valley member Kevin Gribben, Mike Zero, X-Ray Delta Juliet. Immediately before the net, I had a phone call sadly reporting him as being silent key as of this morning. So, Phil, I'm not sure if you want anything extra on email, but there might be some of your group that will still remember Kevin. G4HUF, G4 and RC, over.
This is G4HUF. Right, okay. Oh, sorry, I caught the name Kevin, but I didn't catch the call sign, so I'd appreciate you going again on that one, please, Greg.
0 Delta, correction, Mike 0 X-ray Delta Juliet M0 XDJ, over.
This is G4HUF. Okay, fair enough. Thanks for that. Right. Well, I'll put something out to the few that I've got left in the group, and it does seem like a few, because we seem to have. Well, there's a couple that have not been in touch for a while. There's 2 that have decided to stand down. And ironically, one who I thought was still interested and active, and I've got him a new card, and he sent me an email saying that he wants to stand down as well. So that's a big chunk out of the group as far as that's concerned. So that's my activity as far as radio is concerned. It's sorting out the admin for the group, and it's at this stage it's a little depressing, as you can appreciate. Anyway, not to worry. I've got nothing else exciting to report. Activity on the air bands or anything else like that has not happened. So at that point, I think it needs to be a case of me saying good afternoon to everybody on the net, hand it back to you, and I think I'll mark myself as out after this over.
For HUF, G4 and RC returning. Okay, yes, I've got to admit, with many other things pecking my head for attention, I haven't looked at how your renewal had gone. So, okay, that's unfortunate, especially the one that got the new card and then decided to resign. However, Phil, it happens. There are still trickles of new members coming through, and you've always seemed to do much better on your side of Cheshire than I have for getting new ones coming in through the website. So we'll see how it unfolds. Anyway, 7-3 to you. Have a good rest of your Sunday. And now we go to Mike, Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, who your first 2 calls, Mike, at least went to your local zone net. G8EY, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8EY. Yes, there's something that I noticed Bob says the same thing sometimes with the Anytone radios. Sometimes when you come up and I see Brandmeister come up that you're transmitting and there's no audio, we have to change channel and change back again to get the audio to resync. We don't know why it is, but obviously I overshot and did 2 channel changes instead of 1. Never mind, these things happen. Seems to be a feature of the Anytone, I think, but we don't know why. Yeah, if you want to know the weather, it's 12.8 centigrade, reasonably high pressure of 1014, mild 8.3 miles per hour from 180, so not too bad. But yeah, the pressure is definitely coming back down to STP of 1 bar in the next day or so, so may affect HF. From G8EY.
G4 and RC returning to G8EY. Feels like I've got that PTT issue with the KAL reported. Okay. Not heard of a radio needing a channel change to get it to recognise the correct channel and start up, but anything is possible with these firmwares. kind of missing the radios that you'd program up once every 2 or 3 years, rather than the desire to have a new firmware every few weeks, or however it seems to work for some of them. So, okay, noted. I did see your first call go to local net, but wasn't sure if you'd got promiscuous mode on. You might have heard me tell you on the first call that you were slightly off talk group. Other than that, weather information noted. Mike, thanks for that. And Graham, I see, but I don't believe we've got 6 viewings so far. G7NEH, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G7NEH, good afternoon Greg, good afternoon to all on the net. Yeah, concurrently we have 7 viewing at the moment, so that's good to see. And last week's figures, we had 63 views and 5 likes. I think that's the highest we've actually had on the net. All noted about Kevin, very sorry to hear that. Nice fella. He's also a Red Cross volunteer as well, if I remember rightly. So yeah, sorry to hear that. Not a lot else to add from this end, Greg, so I'll drop out the next round, and we'll no doubt catch up with you in the week. G4NRC, G7NEH.
G7NEH, G4NRC returning. Yes, it was Red Cross Graham who phoned me. I just got back home after being away for the weekend and got a call from him just as I got through the door. So, yes, I'll ping you with more details later, and as we get them, I'll share them with you and Phil. But yeah, I noticed the 63 views last week. I wanted you to claim the credit for that one. I do concur, that's probably the highest views we've had. So, good to see. Right, we finish this round with Mike. Mike 9, Mike Juliet Romeo, G4NRC, over.
Mike 9, Mike Juliet Romeo, nothing from me, Greg.
Mike 9, Mike Juliet Romeo. Okay, copied. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'll take that as an out on the next round as well then. If you're just checking in, just call it as an in and out, but I suppose it's where we're at. But since it's a short net this week, since I do need to be somewhere else and on the road in a few minutes, thanks for checking in. Right, back to the top of the shortened list. Trevor, G4KUJ, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KUJ. Right, well I've swapped the battery in the Linko. Let's see what happens on this transmission. Okay, all noted and understood about BPQ. Excuse me. Yeah, I thought I'd just try with WinLink as I've got it and all up on the computer, and it works nicely when I go into WL2K on the outside world. And it works very nicely between 2 nodes on the peer-to-peer, so that's good. Anyway, don't think there's anything further from me. I'll try and be on tomorrow evening on 40 meters to see if we can get some traffic to Peter. Keeping an eye on, I'm still in, and it seems okay. Cheers for that, thanks for running the net, and catch up during the week, no doubt. G4NRC, G4KUJ.
G4KUJ, G4NRC. I've had a fond hope of having more week available after feels like every night was a RAYNET night last week. But given more communications received today, somehow I doubt it. Noted, so I will let you know when I'm on 40 meters packed for tomorrow for checking. That transmission was clean, and I didn't do my Arden update, but the wreckage of the Arden gateway here is currently 1 dead Raspberry Pi, 1 Pi audio board fried, and 1 AR300 gateway also non-responsive to power. So the attempt at gateway reworking here failed in a blaze of glory, so I got a slightly different GeoLinet router. Been trying that while I was away. I'm not quite so convinced about it. It's doing its duty as a travel router, so whether or not that'll get repurposed to Arden Gateway is still to be seen. So we'll figure it out. I just need to carry on through the pile of maybe not so spare parts that have died with a smell of dead electronics to be sorted out. Okay, San 3's Trevor, thanks for coming on today, and Philip, Golf 4 Kilo India Lima, G4 and RC, over.
G4 RC, G4 KIL. Just the one comment, I think, on talking about Anytones and their vagaries. A rather different thing, but I've got the, can't remember the part number at the moment, the one that's a mobile that can do crossband between DMR and FM. And that just reminded me of that discussion about, I struggled with it a while, and it turned out you can get it to do it, but you have to set it up in exactly the right order, and I probably should have written down exactly what that order was. I think it was that you had to set up DMR first, then switch to the analog, and make sure it was actually had the analog selected last before you put it onto the crossband. Otherwise, it doesn't work properly. So that's just a vagary there. Apart from that, that's it for me for this week. Look forward to speaking to you all again next week. RC73 is all. Back to you, G4 NRC, G4 KIL.
G4 KIL, G4 and RC returning. Okay, there's an even worse feature then if you've got to remember what order you've got to do a load of unrelated things in to make it do what you want. Just having a look, because I'm trying to keep an eye on the preview screen for the video, so we've got 2 Echo Zero Mike Zulu Alpha and 2 Echo Zero Romeo Echo Echo who have checked in via the YouTube comments, which I can see in very small text on a mobile phone screen. Okay, thanks Philip. We'll hope for HF conditions to improve. I know you're not likely to be around for the next net on Friday, but we'll see how things transpire. And hopefully by the time you do get around to being on again, propagation will have settled down into more like winter mode, which would be bad, but predictably bad, rather than getting our hopes up with bands that we think will work and aren't actually working. Right, he normally starts the nets, but this time he gets to finish it. Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8EY. Oh, it's all interesting stuff. That actually was quite useful, that over, because I didn't hear M9MJR either. I saw coming up on the net, but nothing, no audio, no nothing. And that's on the hotspot Pi dashboard. Yeah, well, no idea then. But we learn. And yeah, as you so love being on Thursday night meetings, as do I. There's another one coming up this week, of course, on Thursday, just to add to the fun. But thanks for running the net, Greg, and I'll try to do better next week from G8EY.
8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC returning. Okay, well Mike 9, Mike Juliet Romeo's audio was very loud and very clear coming through, so that wasn't a problem. So you do have a real feature going on with your radio, it feels, Mike, which is why we do weekly nets. It means we can always make sure these things are working, or at least predictably breakable. Okay, with thanks to everyone for so I'll thank everybody for taking time out of their schedules to participate this afternoon. Be careful, have a good week, and until next Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time, I'll close the RAYNET weekly activity net on talk groups 23531 on Pheonix and Brandmeister and 5023531 on the RAYNET-UK network, and transfer those talk groups back to being an open net rather than a directed net. 7-3's all, this is G4 and RC now closing and reverting very briefly to my normal call sign of course 0, Delta Uniform Bravo. Bye bye.